Hello and Akwaba to Panafest 2017. This year is a special year because Ghana celebrates its 60th anniversary, and it also coincides with the 25th anniversary of the Panafest celebrations that is built on the power of the people of African descent in the diaspora. The people of Ghana and the government of Ghana is poised to use this occasion to highlight the powerful ebony culture of the people of African descent across the world who will converge in Ghana to have dialogue on the resilience of the African person, on the tenacity of the African, on the global reach of our culture that, unfortunately, through the transatlantic trade, got our brethren and sistren across the Americas. We use Panafest and emancipation to bring us together to have the dialogue of globalization with the African touch.
African people find themselves all over the world. However, there is a matter that has to be confronted, and that is that for most African people, this scattering was done involuntarily. And that involuntary scattering of African people around the world is the slave trade, the enslavement of African peoples over hundreds of years. This issue is as much a historical issue as a contemporary issue for African people. Many African people are still feeling the brunt of having been sent out to work elsewhere and remaining at the bottom of the ladder, remaining a fractured people, remaining a people who have many questions that should be answered. At the same time, these are a people who have also shown the power of the African spirit, the power of African resilience, and these issues must continually be celebrated, be interrogated, be investigated. Now, this is the reason why Ghana has been running a festival called the Pan-African Historical Theatre Festival, now known as Panafest, over the last 25 years. Over the last 25 years, this festival has been established to enable people of African descent living both on the continent and in the diaspora to come together and handle this trauma. How does one handle trauma? We know that culture, the arts have been used by many communities to deal with deep-seated issues that are very difficult to confront otherwise. The arts bring us to a point where we can ask questions, a point where we can come to some kind of a catharsis around these issues. And the Pan-African Historical Theatre Festival of Panafest has given that opportunity and continues to give the opportunity. How does it work? Panafest manifests itself in the form of a colloquium in which major contemporary issues affecting African people are discussed, but also gives room for us to go to some of the venues in which the enslavement occurred, the edifices that were built by Europeans many centuries ago, which dot the Ghanaian coast, and particularly in Elmina and Cape Coast, there's a deliberate effort to bring people to those venues in order for them to deal with the issues.
We are here in Elmina Dungeon as the first dungeon that we're visiting collectively, and at this very first juncture, at very first time, we find that God is blessing us with his own libation. The water that is coming down is the libation that's coming down from heaven. And we understand and we know that this is the place where our ancestors standing here if it was not for you.
When I went into the dungeon, I felt a lot. It may sound kind of crazy, but people were talking to me. I felt a lot. And maybe, let me say this. My father was shot and killed, and we buried him at sea. And for me, coming back into the dungeon, where my ancestors came through, beginning to feel a little of what they felt.
The reason why we're here today is to talk about the return through the door of no return.
I don't fully understand what I went through yet, and it will take a lot of time for me to understand it, but I just immediately finished a spiritual healing.
My experience in going to the slave castles was that it took me back in a point of time and reminded me of the horror of the slave trade and the inhumanity of it.
And this is not something that needs to be dealt with just by people from the diaspora, but Ghanaians also, Africans living on the continent, also have to understand that without confronting these issues, our problems of development, our problems of being marginalized at the global level, our problems of being absent and invisible in the discussion at the global level are going to continue. So Panafest has been set up in order for us not only to look towards the past, but to look towards the past as a firm foundation for us moving into the future.
Panafest has the potential to contribute to the multi-billion economy Ghana deserves to have. Panafest again enriches the culture and outlies and really brings out to the rest of Africa what we all together can build as a team. Media Magic accepted to be event partners of Panafest primarily because Ghana is the center of Pan-Africanism and deserves to be celebrated as such.
I'm delighted to be back in Ghana again, having been coming here now for over 20 years, to be part of this, of the celebrations for Panafest. I've been appointed by Media Magic as their diasporian consultant, and I'm very happy and in fact energized by this. We have some big plans. We're looking to bring in some artists out of Jamaica and the wider Caribbean. We're also looking beyond this year for Panafest to let it continue to grow, and we think that this event has the potential to really energize the country and the diaspora. And I'm just delighted to be back again, and I wish you all a very happy Panafest. Turn out support. Thank you.
I am AC Sutherland Addy, chairperson of the Panafest Foundation Board, and it is a great honor for me to chair this organization that seeks to work with the state of Ghana and under the auspices of the AU and other organizations that we have worked with, including UNESCO, to bring Panafest to the world.
It's also the occasion to bring businesses and arts and dialogue of the way forward for the African continent. Make no mistake, Ghana, the gateway to the diasporan culture, is poised to make this year's Panafest relaunch the historical one and the beginnings of a culture that transcends generations yet unborn. We will have to send a strong signal out to the people that yes, we overcame the transatlantic slave trade, but now we have used the door of return, and we will solidify that bond to build on it, to bring us together as a people, especially our brothers and sisters from the Caribbean and those from the Americas. Let us use Ghana as a hub for cultural emancipation. On behalf of the President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture, the Panafest Foundation, and all the actors involved, the good people of the Central Region and the communities within and without, the people of Ghana, let me say a big Akwaba. Let us support the relaunch of Panafest as a hub to bring together our people.